2018 is quickly approaching and it's going to be here before we know it. I know that we all have goals, dreams, and ambitions that we want to work towards as the new year approaches. It is a time where we really sit down and we identify what things we want to change, what things we want to go after, and basically how we can be a better person. But it's so easy in the beginning to just write down a goal, a dream, and say that we're going to do it. But it's much harder to actually do it and achieve lasting change throughout the year. So I wanted to take a moment to go through 4 vital steps that I want you to hone in on as you plan for your year ahead. These are the 4 tips that I did personally last year, and I've seen the best results from making sure that I had these foundations in check before going for my goals. Once I did this, I really started to see results and momentum in what I was achieving. So I want you to take a moment to really think about these 4 tips. If you have time, get a journal, jot these things down, listen to the recording, go back to it, because it's going to be beneficial. It's something that you should do for any kind of plan, any kind of goal that you are setting for yourself. So the first thing when you are planning for a goal, a dream, whatever it is, you need to be very clear. You need to have clarity and awareness of what that goal is and why you're doing it. When I started really working on my personal development and I became a student, a high performance student, I really mastered the understanding of how important clarity is in anything that we do. It is in any personal development program, it is always something that comes up. You have to be clear on what you want and why you want it, or else you'll be distracted. You will lose focus. So clarity equals focus. So when you assign that goal, you need to be really clear on what it is. You need to own it and stand by that goal. And then you need to be clear on why you want to achieve that goal. That is going to keep the momentum up and keep you focused on your why and why you're doing this. I know that I used to think if a goal was too small that it wasn't important. And that was such a poor understanding on my end. So I want you to know, as you're creating the clarity and understanding why you are achieving that goal and why you want to do that goal, it doesn't matter how big or small it is. It is your goal and it's what you want to do to make a change in your life. So it's important. If it's not moving mountains, that's not for anybody to determine, because they're not living your life. So your goal is your goal, and it's big because it's important to you. So when you're setting that goal, make sure you keep that in mind. Make sure you say that this is important to me, this is a priority to me, and no matter what anyone says or may think, this is what I want to do, and I'm clear on what that goal is, and I know why I'm doing it. Part of clarity and awareness is also having vision. You need to be able to vision what you're going to feel, how it's going to change your life, as if you already have reached that achievement now. Because without the vision, you will never see yourself that way, and then you won't aim as high for that goal. So you have to have vision. And one way that I have vision is I literally create a vision board. Anything from my experience, anything that I have put on a vision board has come true so far. So once you put that into the universe, you put it on a board, you write it down, something where you can see it all the time, your chances of going for that goal increases. Plus, you're clear so you won't get distracted, and you're aware for what you want and you know why you want it. So that's tip number 1. Number 2 is having an understanding about the roadblocks and the bumps in the roads that you will face, the obstacles that you will face in achieving that goal. You know, sometimes we get a vision, we see what we want, we think about us getting there, and we don't think about the hard work or the annoying things that are going to get in our way, the distractions that are going to get in our way, and then we get discouraged. So we want to be clear on what those goals are, like I said in 1, but we want to be clear on the obstacles that we're going to face. So if, for example, it's I want to work out, exercise more, and improve my nutrition, we have to be clear that if we haven't been practicing a healthy lifestyle for 4 or 5 years or a year, when we go into that transition, it's going to be hard. It's going to take some time to adjust. It's going to be difficult. It's a lot of things that we don't know, so we're going to have to learn, and learning sometimes is hard. So we have to know and understand that it's going to be obstacles, and be ready to embrace it. Like Brendan always says, you have to honor the struggle. So you got to know, yes, this is a goal, and of course I'm going to feel great when I get there, but there are going to be some obstacles in the road. And I'm going to be ready for those obstacles, and I'm going to embrace those obstacles, but I will overcome it. So be real with yourself. Be real that it's not going to be an easy process. And I feel like when you identify that from the beginning of your goal setting, you're prepared for it. So you want to make sure you embrace the suck, honor the struggle, be prepared that you will face obstacles, but know that you're strong enough to overcome it. And if you're clear about your goal and you have vision and you know what you want, the obstacles will be easy to overcome because you are focused on the prize. So that is tip number 2. Number 3 is don't let your past experiences hold you back. And when I bring this up, I'm talking about bad experiences, bad people, someone told you you weren't smart enough, or you had a really bad experience at a previous work environment, and it sets the tone on how you view yourself doing something. Don't let that get in your way. You need to eliminate those self-limiting beliefs. So the self-limiting beliefs are going to come because whenever you do anything uncomfortable and it gets difficult and you have an obstacle, you're going to start to question yourself. You're going to think about the one time somebody said something negative to you, maybe they were right. Those are the self-limiting beliefs. I like to call it the devil that's coming in to distract you. So you have to be able to say, I'm going to overcome that. These self-limiting beliefs are going to come, but I'm going to flip it. I am always faced with self-limiting beliefs. I am doing some really different things right now in my life that are uncomfortable. And when it gets uncomfortable, I start to question myself. And then I have to flip it. So what I do with a self-limiting belief is I use a flipping method. So if I say to myself, oh, launching this blog is going to be extremely difficult. I don't know how to do it. it's a drag. I'm not good at this. I don't have the technical skills. This is not my experience. I automatically flip it and I say, this is exciting. I'm going to learn something new. Once I learn this, can you imagine the bountiful things that's going to come from this? And now I can add that to my resume or to my experience of something that I was able to tackle. So you see that flipping method, you are going to have the limiting, self-limiting beliefs, but you have to know how to not act on those to flip it. And if you're facing something that, because a lot of our self-limiting beliefs really stem from something that happened in the past. And I want you to know, if you have a self-limiting belief that is triggered by something that happened in the past, by someone that said something to you, you need to repeat this phrase, that too did pass. So we know the phrase, this too shall pass, but now we're going to say that too did pass. That too did pass. I'm moving on. I'm not going to let this hold me back. I'm going to use it as ammunition and I'm going to learn from it. So that's number 4. And number 5, the most important, that was actually number 3. Number 4, the most important thing is schedule and add a deadline to your goals. So whatever you're aiming for, you want to have a deadline. You want to commit to a time, because if you don't commit to a time that you reach a certain point in that goal, you will just not achieve it. So if you have a goal that I'm going to lose 30 pounds in 1 year, then you know that 1 year I have that goal. 1 year from today, I want to lose 30 pounds. And now then you add little deadlines in between it. So you have a whole year. So you know every month I need to check in with my weight. I need to do this. Every week I need to make sure I'm eating very clean. Make sure I'm working out every day. I need to get a personal trainer, and I'm going to do 2 days with a personal trainer and 3 days personal at-home workouts. You have to have a deadline. Assign a deadline so that you can stay accountable to that. Be realistic with your deadline. Because if you're not realistic with your deadline, then you either adding stress to yourself because you're like, oh, I have to accomplish this in 2 days, or you're giving yourself too much time and you're not going to get the results as quickly as you want. So those are the 4 tips. I really hope that you will use these when you're planning. Think about all those things. Make sure you take action on them and use it, because it will create lasting change. Because the thing is, with change, it's easy to say you want to change and you're gonna change, but the thing is that most people do not have lasting change for the things that we want. So we want lasting changes. So I hope this is helpful to you. I would love to hear from you if you have any feedback on these goals, and I would love for you to share in the comments what you learned from this and your one takeaway and what you're going to do with it when you apply it to your goal setting for 2018.